It's already bad enough that I am reading horror stories in my closet, but at 1 a.m., at some point in this journey, I'm gonna start reading like really, really, really scary stories, and I don't know how I'm gonna cope with being in the closet at 1 a.m. reading these stories. So I guess the next goal is to film earlier in the day. Yeah, let's do that. My cat is trying to get into the closet. Okay. Anyways, no, Susie, get out. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It is another week, another video. Yay! Another in the closet at 1 a.m. But am I in your closet though? Or am I in your walls? Because I know I'm in my walls, so I should be in your walls and everybody else's walls. Yeah. Hopefully the lighting is way better this video. I know I'm trying to find a good ambiance between, because it is me reading horror stories, so I wanted to kind of have that horror vibe going on, but then it's just low lighting. It's not working very well with the camera qualities, so that is something I would have to invest in later on, right? But for now, it's just me and my voice. Yes, I noticed that you guys can hear the wires of the mic. This wire right here. I am looking into a better option, which will eventually come, right? Because this is all about improvement as we go. So yeah. Anyways, we will jump right into it. This week's article or website that I'm using is classica.fm, and the title is Horror Short Stories to Read Online for Adults with a Twist. Per usual, I haven't read these stories beforehand, so this is like first reaction with you guys. So hopefully we actually get some good ones this week. Let's begin. First story. The Mirror in the Attic. While cleaning out her late grandmother's attic, a woman stumbles upon an old dust-covered mirror with an ornate frame. At night, she noticed something unsettling. A shadowy figure standing behind her reflection, motionless, watching. She spins around, but the attic is empty. Over the next few days, the figure remains, never moving, never blinking. One evening, in a burst of fear and frustration, she shatters the mirror with a hammer. The relief is short-lived. The next morning, deep claw marks streak across her bedroom door, fresh and jagged. Whatever had been trapped inside the mirror is no longer contained. I have a love-hate relationship with mirrors. I love looking at myself, obviously, because who doesn't love looking at themselves, right? But when I was little, I guess elementary, middle school, we all know Bloody Mary, right? And I genuinely was scared of that. I never did the say that name 3 times in mirror. Obviously, why would I? I'm not stupid, but I've always been scared of the mirror. And back then, a lot of the horror stories, they have to do a lot with mirrors, or like the horror movies that I consume back when I was little. There's just a lot of mirror elements, right? So and now to this day, right, I would be wary sometimes if I'm staring at the mirror for too long. But like at night, whenever I'm getting ready to go somewhere and I stare at the mirror, I stare at my outfit or whatever, I don't really stare at my face for too long unless I'm putting on my contacts, which that is a pain to put on. But other than that, I don't really stare at my face for too long, just because I'm scared that at night, if I stare for too long, I'm gonna see something that I don't want to see ever, right? Or my head or my brain is gonna imagine something that I don't want to ever imagine, and I'm gonna avoid that. If you find a mirror in the attic, first of all, Attics are creepy. Same with basements. I am very blessed to be living in a place where houses don't have attics or basements. Well, my house don't have an attic or basement, but my old house do. They have attics, and I never go up there, and I'm never curious because I'm not stupid. Out of sight, out of mind kind of vibe. But we don't have a basement. While attics can be something cool, but definitely not this attic. This is not like let me know if you guys like attics because I don't. Realistically, I don't even see the use of an attic. So yeah. Anyways, she let out a monster by First of all, me being superstitious, you don't break mirrors. That's a no-no. You don't that's very bad luck. You don't break mirrors just because you're frustrated that the figure is not moving. Just cover it. Well, what is so hard about covering it? Like, why are you so curious? This is how you die, okay? Just cover the damn mirror. And then out of sight, out of mind. Jeez. Goodness gracious. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long week, so I'm kind of unhinged right now, and it's like 1 a.m. So unlike my previous two videos, if I'm a little bit explosive in this video, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Next story. The last text. A grieving man still texts his deceased wife's number, knowing it's pointless. Just a way to cope. One evening, his phone buzzes. A reply. Come home. I miss you. His heart pounds. He stares at the screen, disbelief mixing with a sickening dread. The house they once shared has been abandoned for months. Dust stick on the windows, furniture draped in sheets. He rushes there, hands shaking as he types a response. The text message arrives instantly. I'm not the one who died. His breath catches. He looks around, the silence pressing in. Then he noticed something in the cracked hallway mirror. His own reflection isn't there. What is... This is just mirrors again? His own reflection isn't there. Ooh. Ooh. You know, it instead of making it like a scary thing, we can dive a little bit deeper. Maybe metaphorically, you know, his reflection is him, his old self, his inner self. Can't move on from his wife, right? And it escaped. So can he move on now? Who knows? Maybe. I hope so. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's him accepting that his wife is dead and he's moving on, right? It doesn't have to be a scary thing. It can just be symbolic. It can just be deep and meaningful. It's very much a scary thing. Once again, mirrors are scary. I hope after this filming I don't look at mirrors differently. But why are we getting a second mirror story? Next story. The neighbor's dog. A couple moves into a quiet neighborhood, but the new neighbor's dog is aggressive, barking fiercely whenever they step outside. It growls at their windows, hackles raised. They complain, but the neighbor only shakes his head. He's just protective. Then one night, the barking stops. A tense silence fills the air. The couple opens their door to find the dog cowering, whimpering, staring at something behind him. They turn, just as the porch light flickers. Lying on their doorstep is their neighbor's body, claw marks shredded across his chest. The dog wasn't the threat, it was the warning. I would move. I know moving is a lot of work, and that's like a whole nother thing. If it's my house, if I'm living somewhere and it's my home, I want to feel safe and protective, right? So if there's a freaking monster running around slashing people, I'm gonna move. I'm not staying. You can pay me a lot. If I don't move, I'm just gonna accept my fate and die. Because I don't like surviving. I mean, if I don't move, if I don't have the means to move, right, then it is what it is. If it get me, it gets me. Next story. The clock that counts down. A man inherits an antique grandfather clock from his estranged uncle. It doesn't tell time. It counts down, numbers shifting at odd intervals. The closer it gets to zero, the more restless he feels, an invisible pressure building. Days pass, each tick hammering in his chest. Then, one night, it reaches the final seconds. A loud knock echoes from the front door. Trembling, he opens it. A figure stands there, his own face staring back, but older, wounded, desperate. His doppelganger gasps, "Don't let it reset." But before he can ask what that means, the clock chimes. The numbers roll back to the beginning. The visitor is gone. Okay. Okay, from what I'm understanding is whenever it reset, the doppelganger, so like the older version of himself, goes back in time or goes back to where he was that was causing him pain and wounded him. He has to go back and have to live through and experience all of that over again. So that's what I'm getting. So if it's a time loop, so every time the older version show up and be like, "Don't let it reset," it's always going to be too late. It's always going to reset. So it's going to go. How do y'all feel if you get stuck in a time loop? Because I feel like if I get stuck in a time loop, I'm just gonna. I'm sorry. Every time there is a minor inconvenience, Kelly just want to die. Honestly, life is not worth living at this point. So if I'm stuck in a time loop, I'm out. Like I'm not. I'm just gonna sit there until I die or something. Y'all can loop the time over and over and over again, and I will just not change anything because why bother? Why bother? Why bother if I'm just gonna be here? Same time, same place. Next story. The empty playground. Every night, a mother hears the sound of children laughing outside her window, faint and distant. When she looks, the playground swings are still, the sand undisturbed. It happens again and again, the laughter growing louder each time. Then, one night, she spots a small figure sitting on the swing, dark eyes staring at her window. Her stomach clenches. She rushes to check on her child, expecting them to be missing, but they're asleep, undisturbed in bed. She turns back to the window, and the figure is gone. The laughter fades, replaced by a whisper carried on the wind. Not this time. This is why I hate kids. Okay, I don't hate kids, but I feel like any story that involves children, it's very tragic. And horror stories that involve children, it's extra scary because children are pure and innocent little beings, right? So having them be this innocent being laughing menacingly and taunting people, trying to kidnap people's first of all, why are we always kidnapping others people kids? Can we stop kidnapping people's kids? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is giving me flashback to the other story that I read where we just be stop. Okay, leave these kids alone. Stop kidnapping them. Anyways, if I'm a mom and at night I hear kids laughing and I expect them to kidnap my kids, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't even imagine how I'm gonna react, because how do you fight against an entity, right? How do you fight against a supernatural thing? If they take your kids, they take your kids. Well, you can't do anything. You you can't, right? It sucks. Sucks. So kids are creepy. And that's a fact. They're creepy. Even when they're not trying to be, they're creepy. Next story. The stranger in the photo. A man flips through an old family album, lost in nostalgia, when he noticed something odd. In nearly every photo, there's a stranger in the background. A man standing just behind his relatives, his face blurred but present. No one in the family remembers him. He digs deeper, checking older pictures. The same man appears, even in his baby photos. A chill grips him. That night, unable to shake the unease, he glances at his reflection in the dark window and sees the stranger standing directly behind him. Okay, that's okay. That's a little bit scary. You know, if I look through photos and I see the same figure in the photos, I'm gonna burn the photos. I'm gonna burn the physical copy. I'm gonna burn the digital copy. However way I'm gonna find to burn the digital copy, I will burn it, and then I will go cleanse myself. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not I'm not even gonna think about that, right? Because thinking about it is just gonna scare myself more, and I believe thinking about it will invite it in more. So I'm not gonna think about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Can we practice that? Out of sight, out of mind. Just don't think about it. But then even if you do think about it, you you should think about it positively, right? Like instead of the man is trying to harm you, that's why he keep appearing. What if he's a guardian angel? What if he's there to protect you, to protect your family? That's why he's always there. But then you view it as something creepy because obviously you don't know what it is. So it's immediately a scary thing to you. But what if he just wants to protect you, right? Just think like that. You know, you have a little guardian angel. Now you'll never be in danger, right? Next story. The voice in the static. A radio enthusiast fiddles with frequencies late at night, searching for stray signals. When he stumbles upon a faint voice pleading for help, the transmission crackles, barely audible. But one word stands out: his name. His skin prickles. Following the signal, he traced it to an abandoned house at the edge of the town. Inside, dust coats every surface, furniture draped in sheets. But in the center of the room, a radio sits on a wooden table, still broadcasting. He leans in, heart racing. The voice shifts, whispering, "Turn around." The static hisses. Then he hears his own voice, panicked, desperate. "Please, get out." There is a lot of things wrong with this. I get that you're a radio enthusiast and you love to explore new things, discover new things, right? But why would you go to an abandoned house unprovoked? Like what pushes you to go to an abandoned house just because? Like I don't think I I don't understand what you think was gonna happen in an abandoned house. Like you think it was gonna be like sunshine rainbows, or you're gonna see like unicorns there? Like is that what you think? Why would you go there? Like why can't you just stay home? See, this is why I stay home. Y'all, if you're not, if you just not be a curious person and mind your own goddamn business and stay home, you should be fine. So, next time, stop being so curious. You can be curious, but to an extent, right? If it leads you, if your curiosity leads you to an abandoned house, I think it's a good excuse to just go. Is you know, is like at that point you don't have to keep being curious. You can just leave. Yeah. Next story. The shadows that move. A woman noticed something off about her home. Shadows stretching when they shouldn't, shifting in ways that defy logic. At first, she thinks it's her imagination. Then, one night, she reaches for the light switch and feels something brush her arm. Something cold, something wrong. She stumbles back, flicking the light on. Her shadow lags behind, delayed by a heartbeat. The next morning, her reflection in the bathroom mirror is gone. That night, when the lights go out, her shadow moves without her. Again with the mirror and the reflection. But I guess this time it goes beyond that. It's the shadow now. I think you're in danger, girl. You should. But then at this point, I don't think there's anything that could help you. So, best of luck to you. Which brings the question, what if you wake up one day and your shadow is gone? What are you doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna accept my fate and. Why is this channel called Kels in the Walls when it should be called Kels Once? Why am I offing myself every time? Next story. The stranger who knows your name. A man sits at a coffee shop, enjoying his usual routine, when a stranger sits across from him, uninvited. How's your mom? The stranger asks, smiling. The man's stomach drops. His mother died years ago. The stranger continues, talking about childhood moments, long buried regrets. Confused and unnerved, the man asks how he knows so much. The stranger leans in, voice low. Because I'm you. Just a little too late. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting because I always wanted to meet me from a different timeline. Not me in the past, because me in the past is cringe, but me in the future, right? Not to know what happens in the future. I just want to know what kind of person I become. Yeah, because I feel I mentioned this before, but I feel like I don't want to know about your future because then it just it just gives you this pressure in life that you obviously do not need, right? Just live your life and be happy. So I don't want to know about my future, but I do want to meet my future self. Just want to see what she looks like, how she's look like, how's she doing. Just have like a nice little conversation. That's all. We don't have to talk about what happened in the future, our lives, but I, I feel like it would be interesting to, you know, have a little conversation. What about you? Do you want to meet your future self, or your past self, or your current self? Wait, do you want to meet the you that makes the other decisions that the you right now don't make? Ah, see, multiple universes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Like, for example, if you trip and then you fail, that is another outcome. But if you trip and you didn't fail, that is also another outcome. So technically, you have so many different versions of yourself. Yeah. And do you want to meet them? Hmm. Multiple universe concept is so interesting to me. So interesting to me. Next story. The door that wasn't there. A couple discovers a door in their home they swear wasn't there before. It's old, it's wood warped, the handle cold to the touch. Against their better judgment, they open it. On the other side is their own house, identical in every way. But the air feels wrong, the silence too deep. Then they notice the small details. The clock ticks backward. The furniture seems off. The reflections in the hallway mirror move half a second too late. Panic sets in. They turn back to leave, but the door is gone. What is up with people in this week's stories making weird decisions to not minding their own business? If you see a wooden door that is old and worn out, you can open it, but don't walk into it. The fuck? Why are you walking into it? Goodness. Why can't you just be satisfied with your house and just be done with it? These people, I can't. And again with the mirror and reflection. Goodness. Next story. The last passenger. A man rides the late night bus home, exhausted from work. As the ride goes on, he noticed something unsettling. Passengers are vanishing. No one gets on, no one gets off, but seats are emptying one by one. He looks at the driver for answers, but the man keeps staring straight ahead, silent. The man turns to the window for reassurance, but what he sees makes his stomach twist. His reflection is missing. Is the theme for this week reflection or something? Because I'm getting a lot of reflection that are missing here. But then besides the point, I love public transportation. I do enjoy taking the bus just because I hate driving. But I think the latest bus I ever taken to go home was around 10 p.m. Yeah, that's the latest. I don't think I would go any time any later than that, because then that is very dangerous, realistically speaking, right? But obviously, this person is trapped in a supernatural occurrence. Can't save him. He can't save himself. Nobody can. I'm sorry. He is gone. And his reflection is gone. But for the most part, he's gone. And yeah, my condolences. Next story. Echoes in the walls. A woman moves into a new apartment and hears whispers at night. Soft, distant voices seeping through the walls. At first, she thinks it's the neighbors, but the words sound familiar. One evening, she presses her ear to the wall and recognizes the voices. They belong to people she used to know, people who have disappeared. Frantic, she tears into the dry wall, her hands shaking. Inside, she finds something unexpected. Old cassette tapes. Heart pounding, she presses play. A voice hisses through the static. Stop listening. It's actually me in the walls. I'm sorry, sometimes I get carried away in the walls for a long time and then it ends up scaring people. That's not my intention. I'm only in the walls for a fixed amount of time, like maybe an hour max, not a prolonged time like this. But forgive me, right? Forgive me. If I hear voices in the walls, with the big possibility being me in the walls, I would move. I would move. But in the scenario that I didn't move and I tear the wall down and find cassette tapes, I would burn the tapes. I would not try to listen to it. Next story. The forgotten name. A man wakes up one morning to an eerie silence. No one remembers his name. His friends, his family, all of them stare blankly when he introduces himself. He checks his ID. His name is missing. As days pass, his reflection begins to blur, his features softening, slipping away. Then one morning, he tries to write his name down, but his fingers won't move. The pen rolls from his grasp. Something else is claiming him, and soon he won't exist at all. He must be very confused. I am so sorry that you have to go through that. Just but if we look at this in a deeper perspective, right? Like it doesn't have to be scary. All of the stories I'm reading, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be deep and meaningful. What if he woke up with a disease that made him forget his own self, that made him hallucinate and, you know, become this person and eventually it paralyzed him? Then that is really sad. That that is so sad. And I hope nobody has to go through that where you wake up one day and everything just changed where your reality is not what you thought it was. Next story. The Whispering Doll. A little girl receives an old porcelain doll from a distant relative. At first, it seems like any other toy, but at night, her parents hear soft whispers coming from her room. They assume it's just their daughter talking in her sleep. Into one night, they hear a second voice. When they ask their daughter about it, she smiles and says, "She tells me secrets." Curious but unsettled, they hide their doll in the attic. The next morning, it's back in the child's arms. "She doesn't like being alone," the girl whispers. That night, they hear footsteps padding down the hall. Tiny, deliberate. "That doll is coming to kill you." That's why you should not stop friendships. That doll established a great friendship with your daughter, and then you try to intervene. That doll is coming to get you. I'm sorry. That's just how porcelain dolls are. They're pretty, they're detailed, they're delicate, but they're also evil. I would know. I have a whole bunch of them when I was little. I don't know where they are now, but they're very pretty, but they do sometimes scares me. So I try to not look at them. Into eventually my parents kind of give them away. I hope they gave them away and not throw them out, because throwing pretty dolls out, they're just gonna come back to you and haunt you forever, and that's not what I want. So hopefully they gave those dolls away. Next story. The hotel room that doesn't exist. A weary traveler checks into a hotel for the night, given a key to room 306. He sleeps soundly until a loud knock wakes him. Groggy, he opens the door, only to find a confused staff member standing there. "Sir, this room isn't supposed to be occupied." The traveler glances at the number on the door. It now reads 307. His belongings are gone, the bed untouched. The staff insists the room was never booked. He turns back, heart pounding. Where had he spent the night? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about where you just spent the night if you woke up and it's still alive. Now's the time for you to get you know, get out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry where you spending. Don't. No, get out. Your belongings, trash. It's gone now, right? Wherever you were last night, that's where it was, and you don't want to know where you were. So, skedaddle. Off you go. You're a traveler, anyways. Buy stuff on the way. You're good. You don't need to worry about it. Next story. The man in the corner. A woman wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a dark figure standing in the corner of her bedroom, motionless. She freezes, barely breathing. Her eyes adjust, but the figure remains. Too still, too real. She blinks and is gone. The next night is back, closer this time. She keeps her eyes shut, praying for morning. But as the days go by, the figure inches nearer, its presence pressing against her senses. One night, She gathers the courage to whisper, "Who are you?" The silence is deafening. Then, right by her ear, a voice murmurs, "You know me." Here is my take. Well, here's my thing. If I see anything in my room that's not supposed to be there, I just close my eyes and pretend that I didn't see it, that it's not there. Once again, out of sight, out of mind. But also, if I close my eye, it will go away. That's what I think, right? But I also sleep with a night light. So I don't sleep in pure pitch darkness. So that's good. My nightlight is like a galaxy theme nightlight, so it like spreads the entire room. So like it protects it. I feel safe, right? Since the room is has light covering, even though it's like dim light, but then there's light, so it's not too bad. But I could never sleep in pitch darkness unless I'm sleeping with someone else. Other than that, there has to be a nightlight, or else I'm gonna start imagining things that shouldn't be there. That's the thing. Your brain is so interesting, right? Your brain loves to put stuff in your head, and sometimes the things that you see, they're actually real, right? Sometimes. If it's all the time, I don't know what to tell you, but hopefully it's not all the time to you. But most of the time, your brain just puts them there. So instead of giving my brain a chance to put things there, I don't tolerate that. I'm gonna sleep in the light, so you can't get me. Honestly speaking, if the man is hot, I don't mind him being in my room. Next story: the wrong reflection. A man brushing his teeth noticed something strange. His reflection moved slightly out of sync. At first, he chalks it up to exhaustion, but then the movements become more obvious. A smirk when he isn't smiling, a blink that takes too long. One morning, he leans closer, inspecting the glass. His reflection does the same. Then suddenly, it stops, staring back at him while he's still moving. He stumbles backward, his heart pounding. The reflection lifts a hand and waves. And that's exactly what I'm scared of when I look into the mirror for too long. And yep, I guess the theme for this week is reflection, with so many reflection stories. But reflection is a pretty scary concept, because your sense of self is what you see. And if you don't see that, it's really creepy. It's really scary. I appreciate a lot of twists and turns and stories about reflection and bringing reflection out. But honestly, I don't. I actually don't need another reflection and mirror story right now, because I'm gonna tweak out and then I'm gonna not sleep tonight. But so far so good. So far so good. It is now 2 a.m. It is now 2 a.m. and who the fuck cares about reflections and mirrors anymore? I just want to sleep. Next story: the missing time. A woman takes a shortcut through an unfamiliar road and suddenly finds herself somewhere else, miles away, with no memory of driving there. The clock in her car is off by exactly 1 hour. Confused, she checks her phone. No calls, no messages. But when she arrives home, her family stares at her in shock. "Where were you?" they ask. "You've been gone for 3 days." Girl, I had this conversation with my brother the other day that if I'm driving and I happen to end up in a road that is unfamiliar and it's like a time loop kind of road, or like I can never find way out, I am parking my car and accepting my fate. And that's that. Whatever need to come to take me can come and take me, and I hope they do it very quickly. Next story: the forgotten friend. A man receives a Facebook friend request from someone he doesn't recognize. The name feels oddly familiar, but the profile has no photos, no posts, just one message. Do you remember me? He ignores it, but that night he dreams of a childhood friend he had completely forgotten, someone who had disappeared without a trace. When he wakes, his phone buzzes. Another message. You forgot me, but I never forgot you. I'ma block you. Don't play me. I'ma block you. That's it. Talking about you forgot me, but I'm blocking you. Okay? Not replying. I'm blocking. And if you keep coming back to ask me if I remember you, I'm gonna keep blocking. We can play this game. You keep asking me and I'm gonna keep blocking you. Next story. The house that calls your name. A realtor shows an old abandoned house to a potential buyer. The walls are cracked, the air thick with dust, but as they walk through the rooms, the buyer hesitates. Did you hear that? The realtor shakes her head. The buyer swears they heard someone whisper their name. Shrugging it off, they continue. In the last room, they freeze. Their own name is scratched into the wooden floor, deep and jagged, as if carved by desperate hands. The air shifts. The whisper comes again, clearer this time. Welcome home. This is why if I'm going house hunting, I am bringing a priest, a monk, a shaman, and a psychic. 4 people with me to house hunt. I want to make sure that house has nothing in there. No entity, no ghosts, no ghouls, nothing. It's going to be clean slate, okay? If there's going to be an entity later on, it's going to start with me, all right? But I want nothing before me. What are you talking about? You walking through the house and you hear whispers and you're not booking it? What are you doing? A house supposed to be a home, a safe space, and you're not feeling safe. You should skedaddle. You should leave. Oh my god. This week's stories, I don't know if it's stressing me out or it's annoying me. Or maybe it's like 2 a.m. and I'm so over it. Well, what is this? This week's story, some of them are pretty creepy, pretty scary. Like the vibes are there. The vibes are definitely there. Some of them they're more they're more they're more annoying more than anything, I feel like. Well, that's the consequence of me not vetting stories, right? Since I do want to do like a first reaction with you guys, so I don't read these stories beforehand, so I don't know what they are, and if they're insanely annoying, I wouldn't even know until I read them directly. And this is just gonna happen like this. So just a heads up, right? Sometimes I happen to find a good site and it will be really good, and I wouldn't have a lot of commentary, or I wouldn't comment a lot because I'm actually scared. And sometimes I would find these sites where it's not hitting like how it should be hitting, but it's still okay. But it's all right because I love doing this and I love reading and talking to you guys, even though I'm talking to a camera. And it's been fun. This week's stories has been, honestly, I feel like it's been a lot more engaging. I am linking the stories in the description below so you guys can check it out and read along, or I don't know if I mispronounced some words or you didn't understand what I read, you can read it yourself. And that concludes this week's video. I hope you guys enjoy that. And of course, I am open to any suggestions of stories that I should read, or just creepy things that you guys want me to research or react to reading wise, right? I haven't hit that point where I'm reacting to videos yet or clips, which hopefully soon I will be able to do that. But right now I'm just reading. So, anything that you want me to read or want me to kind of research a little bit on, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to check it out. Other than that, thank you for stopping by and I hope to see you guys next week. Well, I see you guys every day because I'm in your walls. but but you guys see me once a week. All right. All right, it's 2 a.m. and I'm talking nonsense. So I'm just gonna go now. Bye.